Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cori Yoder of Coriander Quilts, and today we have a fun fabric-filled video planned. We're kicking off this video with a question brought to us by Fransac2723, and she asks, can you please explain what you mean when you say a fabric line will be a basic? This is a perfect question for today because we are talking all about my lines of fabric for Moda Fabrics that are basics lines, which are Coriander Seeds and Coriander Colors. So when we say that a fabric line is a basic, it means that it is going to continue to be printed by Moda and available in quilt shops longer. You've probably noticed if you've been quilting and purchasing fabrics for any length of time that sometimes fabrics go out of print. Often fabrics go out of print. When a fabric line is a basics line, it continues to be reprinted and you can continue purchasing those fabrics in your favorite quilt shops. This is a wonderful option to have because it means if we want to add just a little bit more of that fabric that we purchased a few years ago, we can use it in our projects going forward. So we are going to start chatting first about Coriander Seeds. Coriander Seeds is my line of white on white fabrics. There's 10 of them in this basics collection. And a number of years ago, I ran out of my favorite white on white fabric. It was in pepper and flax. It was this print right here, the lacy medallion print on white. I loved this print and I hoarded my last bits of it from when I had designed pepper and flax, but then one day I ran out. I was so sad. I no longer had my lacy medallion print on white, and that was when I approached Moda with the idea of doing a white on white fabric line. I know that those fabrics in my lines do tend to sell out quickly, and I loved the idea of having some different ones that we could pull in and use when maybe something else wasn't going to quite work out. So I've got my lacy medallion print back, and let me show you the other prints in this collection. Now, I think about 2 years ago or so is when the Coriander Seeds line first came out. So when that happened, I did film a video showing those fabrics, and then I filmed a second video showing the quilts that I designed for Coriander Seeds. So I've got both of those linked below, and you are going to be able to see in more detail the fabrics and then also those quilts. So if that interests you, be sure to check out those links. Additionally, I have a blog post I'll link down there as well that shows more photos of the fabrics. I know they're a little bit hard to see on camera, being that they are white on whites, and that just gives you options to see those better. But these are the 10 prints here. Some of them are prints that I had in previous collections. For example, X print, this one right here. I have had this X print, you can actually see it right here, in quite a few collections, so we brought it back as a white on white. Here is that pepper and flax medallion print. This print here, the little ditzy floral, was originally in Sugar Creek. We have a pin dot. I believe that one was originally in Cozy Up. The orange peel was from Springbrook. We have a large lacy polka dot. This is a new print just for this collection. A little dotted diamond square, that was new. These happy words, this is such a fun one, another new print. And then these little berry vines was another new print. This one at the top here is Sprigs, and that was originally in Beautiful Day. So a real nice collection of white on whites that we have here that you can pull in to any of your projects. Ever since I started designing for Moda, I have always used the Bella Solid 200, which is off-white, as the white that matches my collections. So these are also in that same shade. So you can easily mix and match with any of my previous collections, as well as with any designer who lets you know that their white that matches their collection is 200. You can pull these in and mix with those collections as well. So let's chat just a little bit more about Coriander Seeds, and then I'm going to show you some quilts, and then we're going to move into Coriander Colors. I wanted to show you this print here. This is that little berry and vine print. I specifically wanted to chat about this one because this one looks beautiful with starberry fabrics, because that little berry and vine looks really pretty with this little portion of the fabrics. It just ties in really nicely. So some of you had said some of the white on white fabric in Starberry is getting a little harder to find. This is a beautiful substitute that you're going to be able to get in your quilt shops right now. So I wanted to mention that. Then the other fun one that I wanted to chat about is this little ditzy floral. I love this print. I've used this one a lot. It is the same floral that you see right here in Callie & Co. Now Callie & Co. comes out in the fall, late fall, probably November, end of November, I'm not exactly sure when, but later in the fall. And this print perfectly matches this right here because it's the same. So this is the white on white version of this little ditzy floral that we have in Callie & Co. The white on white fabric that's included in the collection, in the Callie & Co. collection, is the polka dot fabric. So that gives you two really nice options that you can use to mix with Callie & Co. And of course you could pull in any of the Coriander Seeds, but I think it's really nice having those two prints, especially because they coordinate perfectly. So I wanted to mention that, just so you know when you start thinking about purchasing Callie & Co. that you have this little ditzy Coriander Seeds option that's really beautiful with the collection. I'll go ahead and link to my Callie & Co. quilts video, so if you want to see any of those quilts in more detail, you can as well. Let's move that to the side. Oh, well, we'll just take a look at this one too. So this is that quilt that I just chucked on the floor back here. This one is all around star. And this quilt is called Jelly Roll Jam from Callie & Co. It's a jelly roll quilt. The white on white used there is this little viney print, so you can see that it also works beautifully with Callie & Co. That's what that quilt looks like. And again, you can watch the Callie & Co. quilt video at the link down below. And the other basics collection that I have from Moda Fabrics is called Coriander Colors. I've opened up a mini charm pack so that we could look at some of these prints. These are simple geometric prints in colors that match my collections. Now, not every color is going to match every collection, but it gives you a really nice way to pull in some of these simple geometric prints when you want to add just a little bit something extra to a collection. I'm going to show you some ways that I've utilized these fabrics here in just a minute, but I wanted you to see all of these colors and prints. So you can see it's kind of a full rainbow of color. I've used all of these colors in previous collections. That was one thing that I think threw people off a little bit when we introduced Coriander Colors, was they thought this was such a different palette. And they are actually all colors that we've had in previous collections. So you can pull them and mix them and match them, and they have been a really fun treat to have in addition to my collections. Let me move these Coriander Seeds fabrics out of the way, and I want to show you what these fabrics look like when you use them just on their own, mixed in with Coriander Seeds. They are beautiful as a collection on their own, but as we work our way through, you're going to see some other options that we have with these fabrics. So I have just a few of the Coriander Colors quilts here. Again, check out the video if you want more information, more details about these quilts. But these all use just Coriander Colors, and then the white fabrics are going to be from Coriander Seeds. This quilt is apricot jelly. P.S. The stripe, that black and white stripe, is wonderful for bindings. I love having that as an option. This next quilt is Cakery. And this one uses the Happy Words white on white for the background, and then all of those happy brights. This is Barn Star 7. The Barn Stars are always so much fun in the collections. The polka dot, the white with black polka dot, is wonderful as a backing fabric. Purry Stars, we did Purry Stars in two different options. Many of you have seen this quilt. This is Purry Stars using Coriander Colors, but then we also did Purry Stars mixed with Joanna's Eyelet fabric, which is another basic line for Moda. So that turned out super cute. And then this last one is Positively Charming. So you've seen some of the quilts that I made using specifically just coriander seeds and coriander colors. But really what I'm most excited about for these two collections is their mix and match possibilities. So I've laid out some of my previous fabric collections right here just to give you an idea of how you can pull in coriander colors when you are looking for just a little bit something that you want to add to a collection. Mix and match possibilities are always fun, whether you are mixing certain lines from a specific designer or whether you are just mixing together a whole bunch of different fabric lines. It's just something fun to do to really personalize your project. So up here at the top, I have Starberry. Now say you wanted to add in a little bit more of these geometric prints. This as a binding fabric is wonderful. I love this polka dot mixed in, and in fact I will show you a project here, a little sneak peek of a project that my sister has been working on where we mixed this dot in with some of these prints. Of course you could add any of these other black and whites in here. You could also add in some of these reds if you wanted to, and it would just give it a little something fun. So let me pull that project I was talking about. Keep these sorted so I can see what I'm doing here. These down here, she has been working on a calliope quilt. We're going to show this in an upcoming video once she gets it all sewn together. This is her first quilt. So if you are a beginner sewist, calliope is a great beginner quilt. And I'll link to that pattern below too. It's a free pattern. But you can see here how pretty those polka dots are mixed in with Starberry fabrics. I wanted to show you guys that. Oh, and if you saw my Christmas tree jelly roll video last week, another fun project, I mixed that polka dot in with that project as well. My pile of quilts is getting quite extensive over here on this side. All right, so that's Starberry. Say you have Peachy Keen and you want to round this out a little bit. These blues up here are just perfect with Peachy Keen. Also really pretty with sun washed. I didn't pull any of my sun washed fabrics, but very pretty with sun washed. So mix them right in with Peachy Keen. And then I pulled also Beautiful Day. Maybe you want to add in a little bit more pinks in here, you could. You want to add in a little check in there, you could. And maybe you don't have any aquas and you think, oh, I think I'd like to add in a little bit of aqua just for something pretty. You could absolutely add in aqua and make this a really pretty summery palette. So that is a fun thing to do and something I'm really excited to continue doing through the upcoming years as I introduce new collections. It's just having these mix and match possibilities. All right, let me chat just a bit about Callie & Co. mixed in with Coriander Colors because these two collections are really fun mixed together. I've been really excited to mix these. So I have a little mini charm of Callie & Co. and I'm just gonna open that right up and we're gonna take a look at these prints. And I want to show you how pretty they are mixed in with Coriander Colors. So these pinks are super pretty mixed right in there. Now I don't know that I would mix the reds in with this collection. This is more of a softer red and this is more of a brighter, more Christmassy red. So I probably wouldn't mix those in. Of course you could if you wanted to. We'll add our little oranges here. You're going to see how pretty those are mixed in. Yellows. These two collections are just so fun together. I've been really excited. This is actually the first time I've laid them all out like this. I have them up on my shelves in my sewing room, stacked very close together, but I haven't actually mixed them up like this. I've been excited to do so. I think they're so pretty. So you can see it just adds just a lot of fun interest to Callie & Co. Just mixing in some of these little geometric prints. These blues, I love these blues. You just mix them all in there. You can just imagine how pretty a quilt like this would be with everything mixed here. And the purples. And there we go, something like that. Now another thing, while I have some of these here, just think how pretty it would be if you wanted to do, You know, maybe you want to do something a little bit 4th of July, patriotic. You could mix in some Cali & Co., bring some of these Coriander Colors in. What else should we add in there? Oh, I know we need this little guy up here. And just think how pretty something like that would be. Could add in these two yet if you wanted to. Oh goodness, let's just throw in these two. Look at that. That would be so pretty. Just a really pretty 4th of July Americana quilt, just that easy, mixing the two collections. It really opens up a lot of different possibilities because you can, you know, do a more limited palette, add them to other collections. You get the idea. I just wanted to give you some examples of how we can use these. Sometimes you see these pretty fabrics and you think they're so nice, but you're not quite sure how to use them in a project. So I wanted to show you how we can mix. Oh, we're just gonna throw all these together. Maybe I'll just need to make a little mini charm project using all of those. Wouldn't that be pretty? Mix them all up. And that's exactly what I'm gonna show you next, is some mixing it all up options. I guess I have just two things I wanna show you. So some of you have seen another Calliope quilt. So I didn't open up Nicole's full Starberry Calliope quilt, but this is another one. So if you aren't familiar with this pattern, you can see what it looks like here. For this, I just mixed together Moda Bella solids with that black and white polka dot. And it was just a fun way to add a little something special to a solids quilt. So there's that one. And then this next one is just a gloriously scrappy mix. If you saw my Christmas tree video last Saturday, you'll remember I said maybe I should make some of these in a scrappy patchwork quilt using a whole bunch of scraps, a whole bunch of fabric lines, and asked if anyone would be interested in making some scrappy blocks of their own. Well, I just went ahead with it and sewed up some blocks of my own. And so these are blocks made using that same technique I talked about in that video. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it below. Super scrappy patchwork blocks. These use all of my fabrics, all colors, and you'll see I've just thrown in Coriander Colors in with everything else, and they're just so pretty all mixed together. I'm gonna have to keep making more of these. It was fun diving into my scrap bins and cutting the 2.5-inch pieces I needed, and they just turned out so pretty. It's a great scrap buster, but also a great way to show you just how you can mix and match everything together. I think I did 7, there's 5. Yeah, 7 of them. It didn't take very long at all, and they were so fun. So that shows you some of the mix and match options, how these look all mixed together. Isn't that gonna be fun? Look how pretty that's gonna be once those are all sewn together. They don't take long, great scrap busters. I just love them. They're scrappy and happy. So that's a little peek into Coriander Seeds, Coriander Colors. I wanted to dive into, you know, how we can use these fabrics a little bit more, kind of my vision for the collection. And now that you know that you can get these collections going forward, you know, long term, you might be interested in purchasing some and bringing them into your fabric collection too, so that you can use them in various projects, because they are very versatile fabrics to use. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer those. If you have a question that you want answered in an upcoming video, just title it "question" in all caps, and I will answer that in an upcoming video. Those can be anything quilt related. If you have something you need answered right away, don't put that little notation ahead of your question, and I will answer that quickly. So I think that wraps things up for today. I will catch you again next time.